this is like one of my favorites. It's probably like the #1 thing that saved me. 100 out of 10. If you're gonna take one thing away from this video. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we actually just got back from a 2-week trip to Japan, and I thought it would be interesting to kind of show you guys everything that I used from in-flight to also traveling to Japan. So if any of you guys are headed to Japan or even just any international trip in general, I've got you covered with the tried and true must-haves that actually do make a difference. So whether it's surviving a 15-hour flight in economy or walking over 25,000 steps a day, I've got you covered. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay guys, quick pause, because before I even get into all the Japan travel must-haves, I have to tell you how I even got to a place to be able to experience this trip, because as you can imagine, it was truly a dream. So I wanted to give a huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video. I partnered with EF Ultimate Break, a group traveling company who I had the absolute pleasure with traveling to Japan. So if you haven't heard of them just yet, they basically make group travel ridiculously easy for people from the ages of 18 to 35. Like, we're talking your flights, hotels, breakfasts, excursions, transportation, and a private tour director that plans all of this for you, and it's a local tour guide, so they know the ins and outs of that country. Our Japan trip that we took with EF Ultimate Break was called the Highlights of Japan trip. So we started off in Tokyo, and this is the same day that we met everyone. Everyone pretty much came either like solo or in a couple, and everyone there wanted to be kind and nice and make friends, and of course make memories. I feel like I'm kind of like on the shyer side, so I didn't really know what to expect, but I've been trying to get out of that shell, and I think traveling with this group definitely helped me with that. So we stayed in Tokyo for, I believe it was like 3 or 4 nights. They also give you a ton of free days, so you're not with a group every single day, which is honestly a nice balance of like being with the group and being solo. They also have optional activities, so in case you don't want to be alone, there is also stuff planned for you. So from Tokyo, we went to Hakone. This was 1 overnight stay, and we were able to stay in a traditional ryokan. You can sleep on the floor if you want, or there's a bed, and then we were able to have a traditional dinner. It was really nice. And then we made our way over to Hiroshima again for 1 night, and then from Hiroshima we went to Kyoto, and then from Kyoto our last stop is Osaka. So this was in a span of a little under 2 weeks. I loved it because I felt like we did the shopping, all the touristy things, and my favorite part as a type A girly, which I thought I wasn't gonna like this part, is that everything is so hands-off, meaning everything's planned for you. It's stress-free. You don't have to worry about how your luggage is gonna get from point A to point B to point C to point D, or how you're gonna get from A to point B. Everything is just already planned out for you. Tickets are already bought for you. All I had to worry about were all the good pictures I was gonna take, all the shopping I was gonna take, and when I was gonna eat. So if you guys are thinking about doing a big trip, but kind of just feel overwhelmed about the planning and the process and visiting a new country in general, or if you want to travel solo but not completely solo, EF Ultimate Break is that girl. I will link them below if you want to check them out. But let's get back to the video of all of the must-have Japan travel items that you will need for your next trip. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be talking about is everything that has to do with in-flight traveling, specifically flying internationally in a economy seat. So the first thing I want to start off with is something that I call like my in-flight survival kit, or self-care kit if you will. And again, because we're flying economy, we just want to make this flight experience as comfortable and relaxing and low stress as possible. So I like to pack myself a little survival kit, and I just fit everything in this clear container that I got from the brand Naturium, and it goes through TSA pretty well because it's clear. So I'm gonna start off with the absolute 3 essentials I always put in my in-flight survival kit. So I always bring 3 different types of wipes. This is a hand and face wipe. It's just by the brand Wet Ones. I always get the sensitive skin one because I want to be able to use it for a bunch of different purposes, so I don't have to like bring extra wipes. This one you can use on your hand and face. I'll use this as a makeup wipe or just to kind of like refresh my face mid-flight. It is hypoallergenic, it's fragrance free, so with my sensitive skin this works fine. And then I also like to use it just kind of like as hand wipes. I also like to use this to blow my nose. Multi-purpose fragrance free wipes are just so good to have. And then I also like the antibacterial ones by Wet Ones. I like this one because it actually kills germs. I'll use this either to sanitize my hands or to like wipe down the tray table, wipe down the headrest, wipe down the seatbelt, and kind of like anything I need to just like wipe down, disinfect. I also have those same Wet Ones in like these mini versions. I like to throw these in my purse again when you just get to the country and you're traveling. These are also really good to have. By the way, I just want to say I never actually unpacked this from our Japan flight, so everything you're seeing is like really what I use. The next thing is I like to bring some kind of feminine wipe or flushable wipe. I really like these because they're just single packets. I don't have to bring a whole thing with me to the bathroom. This is just really good to freshen up mid-flight, and 15 hours is a long time. So I actually like to pack about like 8 of these, not only when you're like mid-flight, but also when you get to your destination or that country, you can bring these along with you, and they're just really good to have. I also bring a few liners, even if you're like not on your period or anything, just to keep these to be able to like refresh down there, you know. It's just like it makes you just feel more comfortable and a lot more cleaner. So I actually don't have it in here because I throw it away when I get home, but what I love to do is to go to a Target or any drugstore and get those like little 99-cent saline nasal sprays. So all it is basically salt and water. There's no medication. Some of them have aloe in them. I believe the Target ones, there's a version of it that has aloe, and I really like that one because the plane air is so dry and I'm really prone to bloody noses, especially if I'm stressed or I have allergies or it's just different climates I'm going to and everything. So really a one-time use for me, meaning I'll use it on the trip and when I get home I throw it away. So I try to get like the really small one. I'll use it throughout the flight and it really keeps my nose nice and moisturized and happy. So these next things are kind of just all for my hands. Of course, you're gonna want to bring some kind of hand sanitizer, and then I also like to bring a little mini hand lotion. This is one of my favorite hand lotions. It's by L'Occitane, and this one just smells so good and so refreshing, and it kind of like puts me at ease. Like, I don't know, it has a calming scent to it. And then this also came with the L'Occitane lotion. It's a really good cuticle oil. This really just hydrates the cuticle so well. It's one of my favorite cuticle oils, and it has that same really good refreshing calming scent. So the next thing in here, I usually pick up 2 packs of this. One is the stress gummies by Ollie and the other are the melatonin sleep gummies. I love to have these on hand just because I deal with a little bit of flight anxiety, so I like to take these if I feel a little anxious or even restless. You just take some of these and they come in like a little pack ready to travel. The melatonin is if I really need sleep and I need an extra boost, and it's also really good to help with jet lag when you land in that country. So the next thing are some wired earphones. 90% of the time I am using my noise canceling AirPod Maxes. I feel like when you have noise canceling headphones on for too long, your ears can kind of develop like that ear fatigue. I'm pretty sensitive, so sometimes I just need a break, or I don't want to hear just like the airplane, so I'll plug this in and it really kind of gives my ears a break. The next is of course to have a few hair ties. Always need that. I like to keep like a small little clip in there as well. And then I just keep 2 types of deodorant just to kind of freshen up. I like having a spray option and also the roll-on in case I want to like be more discreet. I want to say I packed like 10 of these, and between me and Kev we were left with 3. They're like these little Colgate toothbrushes, but you don't need to use water. There's a little bead in the middle of the toothbrush there, and that basically holds like this breath freshening teeth brushing thing. It's edible, like you can, you know, essentially brush your teeth and swallow it. You don't need to like spit it out. I like to spit it out. These help to freshen your breath so much. Like, they may be small, they work really good, at least to just kind of get in there and like get that funky smell out. And then of course, if any of you guys wear contacts, pack an extra little contact solution just in case. I like to also pack those single-use eye drops just for sanitary purposes on an airplane. As far as skincare on the plane, I'm pretty simple. I try not to do too much things where I have to like physically touch my face. Like this Evian spray is really nice to have mid-flight just to kind of like freshen things up. What I'll do is I'll go in with the face wipe and then I'll go ahead and mist this all over. This is just the one serum I do take on. It's from Summer Fridays. Their jet lag deep hydration serum. And then my very last step is just to have some kind of sunscreen. Again, I try to reduce the amount of times I have to touch my face, so I really like this sun stick. You kind of just roll it on your skin and you're good to go. And I like to pack my favorite lip balms for the plane. And lastly is this First Aid Beauty. It's an anti-chafe stick, and It's fragrance free. It doesn't smear, get on your clothes or at all. If you're going somewhere hot and you're traveling in shorts, if you have thighs that are rubbing, it can get quite uncomfortable. It just looks like a deodorant stick, but you can apply it between your thighs or under your boobs or like wherever you need it. So that's basically it for my in-flight survival kit. But now we're gonna move on to like some of the gadgets, things that really elevated my economy flight to not make it feel so economy, if you know what I mean. I think the first thing I'm gonna have to start off with is this inflatable footrest. So it packs down to this size, which is not bad at all. I put it at like the bottom of my backpack. I was really hesitant to get something like this because this whole time I thought you actually have to like blow up these things with your mouth, you know, and I didn't want to do that on a flight, but I found one where you don't have to do that. On the footrest that you opened up, there's this valve. You take this other thing, you open it up, it's a bag. You just click them together. And I tested this both for the flight going there and the flight back. It only takes 7 or 8 of these to fully blow up the footrest. So I just try to get as much air in there as possible, and then I trap it and roll it down. I bet you we only need about 3 more of these. This is what it looks like when you're at 5 bagfuls, and this will literally fit just right in front of you between you and the other seat. And I like this better than the hammock because it won't bother the person in front of you. That's basically what it looks like. This is probably like the #1 thing that saved me. If you just put your chair all the way back and put your feet up, oh, it's so much easier to fall asleep that way. Highly recommend. I actually wanted to get one for Kevin, but he didn't want it at first, and then he saw me have it, and then he started to put his feet on mine. So that just goes to show it's really loved. It really helps on those super long haul flights. So the only other gadget in flight that I used was this eye mask that tied to the headrest, and I'll kind of demo it here for you guys. It basically buckles to the back of the headrest. I think the mask that I use, I'm washing it, but there's a mask that velcros around it. So what this prevents is your head from like tilting, and it really keeps your head secure up, and you can just fall asleep that way. This made my sleep so much more comfortable, plus it was completely blackout. I would say no matter where you go, always have air tags in your luggage, on your passport, even on your carry-on. It's just good to know where it is at all times, and if it does get lost, you can have a peace of mind of where it actually is. So we bought a pack of these. We put it in all of our luggages. Another thing that I really like are these passport holders. This really came in handy. You just open it, you can slip your passport in and out over here, and then on the back side it has a compartment for an air tag. So I use these luggage tags to put on every luggage. I love how it comes with this flap to kind of just like hide your personal information, you know. So I didn't know whether to recommend this for in-flight or traveling, but usually we bring machine washable, reusable travel slippers, and we usually just bring these when we're traveling to different hotels and stuff. Sometimes they don't have slippers, but of course traveling to Japan, literally every single hotel had not just like these kind of slippers, like a good pair of slippers. So we didn't even end up bringing these, but I could see you wanting to like use these on the flight, and I love that they're washable. Saying on this is so cute. I love to travel, but I hate cold, hard, and wet room floor. Yeah, period. This is also another thing just for like the in-flight comfort. I believe they're Fruit of the Loom. I'll show you guys a picture of them right here. I'll also link everything in the description, so make sure to check those out. But I like to have like a really comfy wireless bra. This specific one, it doesn't have much support or anything, like no padding, no wire, which it almost feels like you're kind of just like it's not there. Still has some kind of support, if that makes sense. They're really cheap, they're affordable, they're good quality. So now we're moving into the part where we've landed, we're in Japan. This is just stuff I've compiled that I really do like while experiencing Japan, and just the different cultures that's there and things that just have really helped me out. So the first thing I'm gonna say is it really does depend what season you go to in Japan. I think Japan's rainy weather starts in June officially, but we went in May and there was quite a few rainy days. So I do recommend, one, packing an umbrella. I like this one from Amazon because there's a clip. You can just clip this on to the outside of your backpack or purse. What I noticed in Japan is people will use umbrellas for the heat. There's a lot of walking, and if there's no shade, you can just pop up an umbrella and instantly you have shade. But I recommend you getting one that also has UV protection because you can use it both in extreme heat and then in rain. So I had like my favorite coin purse that I actually got from Amazon. I'll show it right here, but for some reason I cannot find it ever since we came back, but that was a coin purse I used every single day in Japan. In Japan, you're gonna be using a lot of cash and there's a lot of coins. You're gonna need something to kind of just organize those coins. Your regular wallet with all of your cards and money and stuff is not gonna work because it's just so heavy. As you travel, you're just gonna accumulate so much coins. So I would dedicate an entire little coin pouch or coin purse just for that. Something I also kept in that same exact coin purse was, surprisingly enough, dog poop bags. And no, it's not for poop. What was so fascinating and ironic to me is that it's so clean, like way cleaner than here in the US, but for some reason there are 0 trash cans. Like, I couldn't find a single trash can in the public, especially when I really needed it. I actually expect you to carry your trash around with you, and then when you get home, or instance for us, when we get to the hotel, you'll throw it away there, just to kind of have like a dedicated space to put the trash in that didn't take up so much space. We just used these little poop bags, put our empty drink cup, our wrappers, our napkins, or whatever in here. When we got to the hotel room, you just boop, throw it away. It doesn't take up much space at all. I think this was genius. That is definitely a handy tip that I'm so glad that we were aware of, and I hope it helps you guys as well. Another tip that I actually didn't know, but I keep these around me even like before the trip, I would always use these. So it's a really small pack of hand sheet soaps. So it's literally hand soap, but it's in the form of a sheet. So it's so cool. There's 100 of these in each pack. It smells so good. It smells like lavender, and it really gets in and like lathers. It's activated with water, so I just put it in my palm, put it under the sink, and I just start washing. We use these a lot. A lot of restrooms did not have soap available, or they just run out of soap. You're traveling so much, it's just so good to have this on you. Next thing is, you're gonna want some cute socks. You're gonna be taking off your shoes throughout the trip, whether you're going into a tea ceremony, you're going into a temple or a shrine. I believe also some restaurants make you take off your shoes. The Japanese people are very polished, and you will never see them with a hole in their socks, so just make sure at the very bare minimum there's no holes in your socks. I really love these cute socks. These are the ones that I bought from Amazon. They come in different colors, and they have the cute little ruffling at the top, and they were just overall very comfortable, so I would highly recommend these ones. I looked at my ordering data, and we averaged 25 to 30,000 steps a day. That's a lot for us. We live in the suburbs and we're not used to walking 25,000 steps a day. So my #1 worn shoe, because of comfort, style, and versatility, are these Dr. Scholl shoes. They're kind of dirty right now. It's because I wear them a lot. They held up really nice, and they literally can go with anything. You can dress them up, you can dress them down. I even went out to dinner in this. It's such a good universal shoe. So usually when we would go to Disneyland, we're probably walking 25K steps, and at the end of the day my feet would be in so much pain. No matter what kind of shoe I was wearing, New Balances, Crocs, anything, my feet would just be in so much pain. I swear I did not feel pain. I did feel like my feet were definitely tired after 30K steps, but they did not feel achy, they did not feel sore, they did not hurt, you know what I mean? Also, something I noticed when I go to Disneyland here in the US, my lower back would start to hurt. With these, we were at Disney Sea all day, same thing, 30K steps. My lower back did not hurt, so this just feels like a lot healthier on my bones, my joints, my body. 100 out of 10. If you're gonna take one thing away from this video, get these Dr. Scholl shoes. They're so good. Okay, I guess you know you're turning 30 when you have all these gadgets for comfortability and stuff. I believe this is called a Pilates ball. My Pilates instructor actually recommended it to me, and it's just a small, pretty hard ball, but it's great for traveling. Instead of bringing like a whole massage gun with you, you can lay on your bed with the ball between your back and the bed. Even like on the wall like this, you can kind of roll it in between your muscles and stuff, and it really just gives a good release of your muscles. This is meant for your feet originally, which I did do foot massaging with it. I just plop it on the floor, put my foot over it, and kind of like roll out my feet. I also brought this stretch band, but again, I can't find it. I don't know where some of my stuff from Japan went. I'll show it right here and I'll link it down below. It has like different loops on the band, so you can just lay in bed and stretch your hamstrings, your calves. There's a bunch of different stretches. You can even bring this on the flight with you to kind of stretch your calves while you're sitting down. The last thing that I recommend that I don't have with me because I can't find it is this portable fan. I love that it closes down, it compacts really nicely. I believe there was 3 speeds, so maybe look into something like that. So I used to have something like a jewelry case like this where you kind of hang your bracelets and hang your necklaces. It was a great idea, but for some reason sometimes it would all just kind of be jumbled up and still tangle. So I got an upgraded jewelry case. So when you open it, there literally all separated. So I'll put a bracelet in one, earrings in one. I'll put my necklace. I always make sure each necklace and bracelet is always separate. I believe you can buy more of the pouches too. 6 of these pouches were plenty for me. I actually had 2 that were empty in case I like bought jewelry and wanted to bring it back without the box. The case is pretty hard, so like not gonna squish in your luggage. This is like one of my favorites. Okay, so that's pretty much, I tried to keep it down to 25. There could be more, but I wanted to do like my absolute must-have favorite traveling finds that really worked out for me and that I hope can also help you guys too. So again, I'm gonna link everything that I talked about in this video down below, and I hope wherever you're traveling to, you have an amazing and safe trip. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.